here we go. I'm gonna teach y'all 4 elements of contracting. These 4 elements are going to save your ass in any type of situation you find yourself in. It doesn't matter if it's court, if it's a felony, if it's a $100,000 collection, if it's a foreclosure. That's all we need is the 4 elements of contracting. And one magic word you should sign always, 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 always. I can't emphasize that enough. Always sign without prejudice. Without prejudice, UCC 1-308, it will save your ass. It has saved my ass countless times. There's no recourse for any contract if you sign without prejudice. You get all the benefits, none of the liability. There's no legal recourse. That contract can never be brought up in court. It has no standing because without prejudice, go read UCC 1-308. It means that you preserved all of your rights in the beginning. Therefore, none of your rights can be violated. It's like a bubble around you. It's a big ass bubble and it's an impenetrable bubble. All right, so here are the 4 elements of contracting. First element is very simple. It's the basics, acceptance. You have 2 parties or more that agree upon a certain performance in the contract. You accept it, you perform, boom, acceptance of performance. Acceptance is the first element, very easy. Second is where it gets a little tricky. Conditional acceptance. That means you accept the contract upon condition of blah, 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 blah. For example, they say you owe them 20K. You get a bill in the mail, ABC Collections. We're getting ready to put this on your credit report, potentially take you to court, garnish your wages, whatever. This letter, and I'm giving it to you for free, and it can be literally this short. You say, I conditionally accept your offer upon proof of claim that you can provide the original charging instrument for this account. Pursuant to the Uniform Commercial Code, you must be the holder in due course of the original charging instrument, otherwise you may not make a presentment. If you provide the original charging instrument, I will gladly pay the $20,000. Also, I conditionally accept your offer upon proof of claim you provide the 1099 OID that shows who the recipient of the funds are and who the issuer of the funds are, because it is to my knowledge that I am the issuer of said funds. Yours truly, Sovereign Man. Sign it without prejudice, get it notarized, send it off certified mail, return receipt, or registered mail. I like registered mail. Make sure you put your name on the right side. Sign it on the bottom at the right side, the creditor side. The left side is the debtor side. And just wait for a response. You won't get one. They won't respond back. And if they do, I'll tell you what to do later. But this is not about that. So, second element of contracting is conditional acceptance. That's how it works. The third element of contracting is refusal. If you refuse something, it is acceptance. Do not ever refuse a contract, especially if it is pertaining to damaging your credit or hindering your freedom. Anything like that, don't ever refuse it because it is acceptance. To refuse is to accept it, okay? If you want to refuse it, here's how you do it. You rescission it. If you want to refuse a contract, you rescission it. 12 CFR 226.15 gives you the right of rescission, 72-hour right of rescission. You have to rescission it within 72 hours. That is key. So, I've gotten a lot of free shit just from rescissioning things. For example, I have a $75,000 vehicle, a GLS 550 Mercedes that I was supposed to be paying $1,500 a month on. And what did I do? I went and got the loan. And when you get the loan, you know that it is paid for. If you've been on this journey as long as I have, you know that when you go and get a loan, or you get a credit card, or you receive some sort of money from a financial institution, the loan is already paid for. They didn't lend you any money. It came from your Cesta QV Trust, from your master account. They're literally the middleman. They're the transfer agent, and they're creating a security agreement in between the transaction to make themselves profitable, to create investment vehicles and make more money off of the money that you already generated. So when you know this, you go get the loan, and then you rescission the loan as soon as you get it. 12 CFR 226.15 gives them 21 days to come pick up the asset. If they don't pick it up within 21 days or make a reasonable attempt, they have forfeited the asset. Forfeiture means it's yours. So what did I do? I went and got the loan. I rescissioned it within 72 hours. They never responded. What I will say is they did respond, but they have no proof that they responded, because being the fine contracting beast that I am, I incorporate my tracking numbers on all of my letters. So I have the return receipt, I have the tracking number that's on that return receipt on the letter that I sent them, and the letter was notarized and signed without prejudice, just like my contract was when I first got it. When I got the loan was signed without prejudice. So number one, they have no recourse. Number two, I rescissioned it. And number three, I have proof of the rescission because it was witnessed by a notary public. It was identified with a unique tracking number stamped on the contract, the letter that I sent them, the rescission. And that is my proof that they received it. Because if you send something certified mail return receipt, but the tracking number isn't on the letter that you sent to that entity, whoever it is, you have no proof that that was what you actually sent them. It could be a bag of dog shit you sent them, but you would never know because there's no tracking number on the bag. So if you put the tracking number on the letter, this is detrimental to success. Detrimental. Because then you can go and reference that number in any other letter that you send them. Like, hey, 3 months ago, I sent you this letter. Here's the tracking number that you did accept and receive. You picked it up on said date, said person signed for it. And it specifically states in that letter that if you don't pick up the asset in 21 days pursuant to 12 CFR 226.15, that you forfeit the asset. You received it, you accepted it, you didn't respond, you didn't make a reasonable attempt. Therefore, there's forfeiture. Therefore, I have liened the car. The vehicle is now mine. If you don't release the title, here's a $2 million bill that you must pay because you agreed to pay it in my fucking letter. Turn back on light. Let there be light. So, the third element, like I said, is refusal. If you refuse, you accept. And if you want to refuse something, you properly refuse it through rescissions. Fourth element of contracting is silence. They say silence is golden. When it comes to peace and spirituality, it is. But when it comes to contracting, that shit will fuck you up. Never be silent. For example, if someone sends you a letter, you better not respond or not say nothing. If you don't say anything, that is silence. They send you a second letter. They send you a third letter. They have followed the due process. And now you are in default, and they have legal recourse to lien you, to file charges against you, to put a collection on your credit report, to pursue you. So you never remain silent. You have to follow the other three elements: acceptance, conditional acceptance, refusal. If you refuse to do a rescission, but never remain silent, because those four things are the elements of contracting. All right. Now, remember, please, please, please sign everything without prejudice. It will save you in so many situations. I have literally saved myself hundreds and hundreds of thousands, probably close to millions of dollars, just by signing things without prejudice. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Let's talk about it.